trial and error is a valid method to live your life by if you want to waste time. I've spent 3 years working with 6 to 8 figure entrepreneurs, and the core lesson that I have learned, I'm about to give it to you, and this is going to solve a lot of problems and save you a lot of time. There's a quote by Alan Watts that says, "The illusion is that change takes time, when in fact, change happens the moment you decide." Now, when you're on the verge of a breakthrough and you know that change is required in your results for success, you need to take a moment and recognize that understanding precedes change, and applied understanding precedes experience-based wisdom. When you have wisdom, that will deliver comprehension and accountability in your life. People will talk the talk and you can have the theory of how things work, but comprehension goes beyond understanding. You can understand a book, you can understand a story, but comprehension is when you can take the concept of what you're hearing and you can physically embody and experience the reality of it in your mind. You can read all the history books and you can hear about the Holocaust, you can hear about the world wars, but you can't truly comprehend the gravity and the magnitude of those stories unless you do something that puts you in front of the reality of what that actually entailed. When you gain wisdom through experience, you're going to be able to comprehend why cliche statements become cliche statements. Cliches were at one point very good, solid advice, and people would say it that often, and the truth is always so simple. But because you hear it that often, people become complacent, they become lazy, and they retreat into a low frequency state. They're blaming other people and finding fault. They're leaning on their vices instead of having the discipline and the willpower to step up into whatever it is that they need to do. And you'll see this everywhere. People falling into gossip, conversations just going so downhill, people hiding their pain with humor. All of these different things that people will do as coping mechanisms for not being able to comprehend that the most simple, straightforward way to success is by being honest and true to yourself. If you cannot admit the truth to yourself and then act on that understanding of the truth to gain experience and build wisdom, then you are never going to comprehend the gravity of what keeps you in the driver's seat of living a full and fulfilled life. When you have an understanding and you can comprehend all the different aspects of yourself in relation to the world and in relation to your impact with other people, that's going to give you a huge sense of accountability. And accountability provides pressure, and pressure produces value. Think of a diamond, okay? Not all gems are diamonds, but the most valuable gems usually are. You have to have so much pressure, and the more pressure that goes into a diamond, the purer it becomes, and therefore the higher its value is. I want you to know that you have acres of diamonds within yourself, within your mind. You have untapped skills, you have untapped ideas, you have untapped abilities. Like, you have absolutely everything you need that fits the cliche of you are limitless, right? People say stuff like that all the time. Oh, you're limitless. We are limitless. Like, we can achieve the impossible. And that's not a cliche, okay? That's actually the reality of life. But people don't want to face themselves. They don't have the courage to look themselves in the mirror and identify what they're lacking in or what their potential strengths are that would help them unlock the limitless potential that they actually have. When you do have the courage to identify, okay, there is limitless potential here, and you are willing to become accountable to unlocking it within yourself, your life will change. And it's as Alan Watts said, change happens the moment you decide it does. Successful people make quick decisions, changing them slowly, if at all. Okay? The value of your character comes down to your ability to stick to a decision after the emotion of the decision has passed. There is a difference between being interested and being committed, and it comes down to how quick you can make a decision. With the decision to take accountability, you are accepting a lot of weight. Accountability for yourself is going to increase your value through the roof. There are multiple ways to gain riches through entrepreneurship, to live a fulfilled life full of purpose, to find love, to be loving, to leave an impact, and to build a legacy. There are so many ways to do that, but the most effective way to do it is by increasing your value as an individual and your skill set, your perception, your ability to create, and your execution in all realms of life. The more value you can bring to the table, the bigger your impact will be and the more you will earn. That is how that works. You earn in direct proportion to the amount of service you render. Okay? Now, how do you access the acres of diamonds that are within yourself? You access them by identifying your beliefs. How do you even begin to master the understanding of what a belief is, let alone develop a comprehension for it so that you can start changing your beliefs? I will tell you, you might find it difficult to spot what your beliefs are because they are subconscious. It's something that you don't have to think about. It's just a way that you move. So ask yourself these 3 questions. What do you believe that you can or cannot do? And remember, the facts of the matter are you can do anything you set your mind to. The question is, what are you willing to do and what are you not willing to do? Okay, you need to write all these things down so that you can challenge them within yourself. Where do you submit your control to? Do you believe that outside circumstances are controlling your results, or do you believe that you are controlling your results? Because if you're this person that is talking about the stock market, supply and demand, and everything like that, you're giving up your control. You are literally letting outside circumstances navigate your belief system. Always remember, you will achieve what you believe. You are a self fulfilling prophecy. So, whatever you decide to believe is going to show up in your reality. Do not let the stocks, other people in your industry, other people who are living life around you, don't let those people who are your haters, critics, skeptics, cynics, all of it, ignore anything that does not come from directly within yourself. You are the source of your results in life. If you give your control to anything outside of yourself, you're being passive, and that's indifference to a certain degree. It's an apathetic retreat from life. You're giving away your responsibility and your authority to your own mind. You're giving away admin access to your own mind. Don't do that. And question 3, do you accept ideas that other people give you if they don't serve you? How easy is it? Now, you're going to have to be really honest with yourself for this because it's really easy to accept negative feedback off people because it's on a lower frequency. So, of course, it's easier to accept than it is to stretch yourself up through the levels of vibrational harmony to accept a positive idea, especially if you're used to submitting your control to outside circumstances. Your belief system is, in fact, just a collection of ideas that you've accepted. There are going to be so many ideas that you've accepted throughout your childhood, throughout your early teens, and throughout your early 20s, just by default, okay? We're conditioned to think a certain way about certain things. So you need to look at the beliefs that you've got and you need to go, okay, was this an original thought by me or did I adopt the belief of somebody else in this scenario? Most of the times you've adopted the beliefs of other people. You've experienced a stronger energy, you've held on to the thought, and then you've proved that thought correct because you have cognitive bias. Your subconscious mind is constantly seeking to prove itself right. This is why your beliefs are so powerful, though. If your mind wasn't always trying to prove itself to be correct, and succeeding in doing so, by the way, you couldn't assume the actual title of being the creator of your reality. No, you're not the creator, okay? One day, whenever we meet our maker, that's a conversation to be had. But God's gift to us is the power to choose. Okay. I'm not questioning any existential authorities right now. I'm not questioning your religion. I'm not questioning any of that. I'm questioning what you believe is possible through your own actions. Okay. Because if you go and treat the symptoms of failure in your life, you're always going to be doing that. And if you're only focusing on the failure, you will end up giving up. Okay. You want to start building beliefs around the root cause of success. And then as you go past your failures, it's fine. All obstacles will give way when you focus on the objective. So this is a mindset shift that in order to master yourself, no matter what level of success you're on already, you want to always go back to this. For each level, you're going to need a new set of beliefs. And yes, your beliefs are probably going to compound on top of each other and you're going to need to add new ideas, just like a game. Okay? It's not a case of the rules are going to change at every level. It's just a case of sometimes you do need to rewire your beliefs around how things are done because there is a faster, more effective way to move and operate. But more often than not, you actually just need to rewire your beliefs about yourself. Your identity drives your results at all times. So you need to understand first and foremost that a belief is just an idea that you've accepted time and time again and then proved yourself correct. And then you need to understand how to change a belief in two ways. One, you can change it through emotional impact or through repetition. Now, repetition is the first law of learning. You need to go over something time and time and time again, number one, until it seeps into your mind. Then you build an understanding. And then through applied understanding, you build experience and wisdom. And then eventually your results change. Or you have emotional impact. And emotional impact is more rare. It's harder to have emotional impact because, for instance, 9/11 created a huge emotional impact in a shockwave across America. Or if a family member passes away, there's emotional impact there. If somebody's dying words to you are like a well-wishing moment, that's emotional impact. Emotional impact, it doesn't happen every single day. So repetition is probably going to be the best way for you to change your beliefs. Whatever that idea of success is to you, what is the outcome of it? Imagine yourself sitting with the version of you that's done it, or look at examples of other people who have achieved the outcome of the goal that you're going after and ask yourself, what did that person need to believe in order to achieve that goal? Actually take time to think about that. And don't just look at an example and think, well, they believed it was possible. That is the bare basics. You need to identify subconscious blocks that are keeping you in a rut of failure, okay? Say you want to be a multi-millionaire. You need to have the belief that you can make six figures a day. That's a belief that you need to make automatic. This is a really important note. Your beliefs become automatic in your life when it becomes your result, okay? Quite literally. So you want to repeat this over and over and over and over and over again. I believe that it is possible to close six figures in a day. I believe that it is possible to close six figures in a day. You have to mean it, because if you don't mean it, you're wasting your thinking energy, okay? If you don't mean it, do not bother trying to reset your belief system. You have to build an emotional connection to the idea. And if you lack the faith to just mean it off the bat, then seek out evidence of it already being done. Look at other people who have closed six figures in a day. Feed your mind with that all the time, as often as you can, until it is so concrete in your mind that you wouldn't listen to anybody who says otherwise, because you know, hold on, there's evidence all around me that it has been done, therefore I can do it too. Okay? That's how you rewire your belief system, and you only fail the moment you quit.